it's her frustrated.
Right.
Because she does tip, tip, right? Tip, tip. Light pull to your left, and tip. There you go. Tip. Almost. And then there you go. A little bit forward left. So go back to where you were. Yeah, right there. So you always want Pretzel to come to you.
Right.
Okay? You don't want to adjust to her because then she learns nothing.
Right.
So what you're teaching her right now is, hey, if you leave my side, this is going to turn on until you get back to my side.
Right.
Okay? So if you end up going to her, she doesn't learn that concept, and she's going to constantly do that.
And should I try and like pull her towards me, or just leave it relax for her
So
to come to me?
I do a couple of them, relax, because she's been doing this now going on, like 5 weeks or so. She's got a good concept, okay? So like if she's not here, but like the Doberman puppy,
Yeah.
if we tap her, boom, she just knows, boom, she just comes right there, right? And it's just been a lot of conditioning. So here for her, I give a couple to see what she'll do, adjust the power if needed, and then just a little bit of guidance to get her back to the spot,
Right.
okay? Because the more you adjust to her, you'll always be doing that,
Right.
okay? Anything else?
I just feel like we haven't really found her walking number, and probably because I'm not going high enough. So, like at home, she's at an 8. When we do plays, like you can see that she understands the command and she goes to place, but she's not like in a hurry, right? Like she slowly strolls there. So I'm like, okay, is that not high enough? And then when we're outside, just on a regular walk, she's on an 18, and she does fine by doing the corrections with heel corrections. But with distractions, I'm always like scrambling to find what works for her, and the distraction isn't there for long enough for me to figure out what number works. So, and I don't go high enough, quick enough. Like I'm always jumping up by 3. And like I'm not getting a quick enough reaction where like I hit like 45, I hit, and she comes right by me.
So you can do a couple of things. One would be if you're by a dog park somewhere, walk outside the dog park.
Right.
Because then now you have control, distraction, like this, right?
So that's the funny thing. So I've been doing that, and just with the walking in the like by the dog park like that, she's fine like 2022. She sticks by me. We do the sit when a dog is walking by, she doesn't react. But it's situations like when I'm in a coffee shop, I walk in, I am not prepared, right? And then there are dogs there, and she goes straight for the dogs. And then, so I'm like, okay, do I tap? So I do that, I tap, and then I walk away from the dogs and expect her to be by me. And then it's more like the random situations where I'm not prepared. Something new comes. Like this morning, we were going through the door. I had a coffee in my hand. I didn't have another hand pressing this. She saw somebody on crutches, and she ran straight for it.
Like barking?
Barking,
Okay.
yeah, barking and dashing towards.
So what you can do is whenever you go, like let's say in the coffee shop, just assume, so if like your number's 30, like right now I was like go to 45. And then right there, and then so it's better to be too much than too little.
Right.
Okay, so at this point you don't have to do incremental. Okay, we did incremental in the beginning so that you understood how it worked, so you can get ideas of what numbers work for Pretzel. So if like 30 is when she's perfect, then I'm just at 30. But then when I'm gonna go into the coffee shop and I know sometimes there's dogs there, 45, right before I enter. So what's gonna happen is, let's say you walk in, she goes and I tap her at 45 and she jumps back. Now the next time you go, she's gonna remember 45.
Right. Okay.
So, but then again, the next time, don't assume she's gonna be better, 45. And I walk in and she thinks about it, but she doesn't do anything. So we just go on like nothing happened. Come back the next time, right? Come back the next time. And then finally one day she's like, what about today? She goes again, 45, okay, 45 it is.
Okay.
You know, let's say if you're, and you can use remote and leash in one hand.
Right.
So if you have your coffee, and then again, if you're limited here, 45. So you can compensate for either, if you're not sure if how it's gonna be, if it's gonna be dogs are busy,
Right.
or if it's like, okay, I only have one hand, I'm not gonna have the capacity to like do all this, 45.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. So anytime you're gonna go into something, what's good is that you can plan ahead,
Right.
and it's just preemptively jump. And I wouldn't worry about being, you're not, because she's been as high as 80 or whatever, right? When we had the other contact points.
Yeah.
So then here, 45 was too much, and if you find it's too much, then 38. But if 38 is too little, then 42, 41. You're going right in the middle of them.
Right.
Okay? Other questions?
No, we did the practice with the statue. Even the second time going back, she was fine. She was obviously looking, but she didn't bark, she didn't dart, she just walked past it, so she's fine. It's always the random situation that she is experiencing for the first time. But the second time she's fine. She adjusts pretty well. And then the other thing is, how we always adjust down for the auto sit for heel. So walking, she's good with 18. But if I want her to sit when I stop, I go down to 8 because there is that jumpy reaction when it's too high. Do I still do that?
Is she not sitting by herself?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay.
But not all the time.
So then keep it at 18.
Okay.
Yeah, because now it's like if it's 90% of the time she sits and 10% she doesn't, that 18 is gonna,
Gotcha.
even though it's gonna, because it's more, it's a firmer correction, just like right here.
Right.
But you're not needing 45 there because it's just for the auto sit. If everything else is great, then I would just have it at 18. And then what you should start seeing is now she's gonna start being more consistent with the auto sits because now she doesn't want 18.
Right.
Okay? So what we're gonna cover today is recall.
Okay.
So, do you happen to have a long leash? Did I talk to you about that? How long is your leash?
I got a 30.
30 foot? Perfect. So we have one here we can use.
Okay, so that just happened. She stood up, I nicked, and then she sat down, but she's moving back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about, you have to pick and choose battles. Because she's small, right, and then the pressure, right, is, what I care about is that she put her butt back down, and she just learned if I stand up, I'm gonna get tapped, right? So then we're gonna see less getting up, which means less of her moving back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and then as you go along, just keep tabs on things, and if it feels like her staying put isn't getting better, then we're probably too low for the corrections, right? Once you hit the right correction, then you're gonna start seeing oh, I only corrected you 5 times a week this week instead of 20 times.
Right.
And then you're gonna start seeing more consistency on what she does.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I feel like
Tip.
18 isn't.
Tip.
Oh,
Tip.
I went down.
Yeah. Then here, because when she started moving, you gave her slack and you would keep it where you had it. So here, lightly to your left, tip. Pull, tip, 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 tip. A little bit more pull. There you go. Right there. Wait a second. Up this way. Tip. A little bit more. Tip. Tip. Better. And what you can even do is you choke up here. Tip. Right there. Up. Tip. And then relax. Good. So the closer you are to her flat collar or the clip, the more immediate leverage you have, okay? So whenever you see me trying to get a dog in a specific position, I'll usually choke up a little bit closer because it's more direct. Let me see here. So what we're gonna do, switch to this, like that. Tap. There we go. Tap. Right. Good. Tap. There we go. So anytime like stuff like this, right? Because typically like if I'm working with the client and like let's say I go to adjust the dog's collar or something and they're in a sit and the dog gives up, people tend to just go like, oh, whatever, right? They go, no, like that's distraction.
Right.
Use it. Any little time she's under command, regardless of the person's like, oh my God, Pretzel, you're so cute.
Yeah.
Versus like adjusting her collar or crouching down to tie her with your shoe and she's like, hey, a Pretzel. All that stuff we correct, okay? So here, you hold the remote in your right hand. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have this leash, you're gonna have the handle over your thumb, okay? And then you're gonna have your remote here, okay? So it allows you to press the buttons, and then you're gonna have these 3 fingers free. Okay, so it's gonna look like this, right? So you can be like this or like this, whatever your preference is. I guess this is better if you're gonna do this. So leave these 3 fingers free like this. And when Pretzel's moving towards you, you're gonna move backwards, and you're gonna just do this with the leash, just throwing it down, okay? So then, on this hand here, you're gonna, whenever you stop reeling it in, you're gonna go like this, and then clasp it, so that the leash locks like that, okay? So if Pretzel was a bigger dog, if they take off and you try to hold it like this, it'll rip the leash through your hand, you'll get a rope burn. So here, we do this regardless of the dog, so that if they try to take off, we're not gonna get rope burn, and it locks just the same thing as here, okay? So like, if it was a bigger dog, and I was holding the leash, and I'm not ready, I would let this go, because I have this here. They're not gonna pull it from my hand, okay? As long as they're not running into anything dangerous. So, anytime you stop reeling it in, you're just naturally gonna do this, okay? The last thing we're gonna do is if we pretend I'm at a distance to Pretzel, let's say I'm 30 feet, you're gonna pull on the leash just to give a little bit of pressure, and then you're gonna tap on the collar, and the moment you see Pretzel moving towards you, you're gonna stop tapping, move backwards, and just toss this down like this, okay? It's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna coach you through it, so don't worry about remembering everything. So I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna hold the green leash. There you go. Like that. And you want the leash over your left hand. So your leash, you're over like this. Like that. Or like this.
Like that?
Yes, okay.
That was possible.
Yeah, so it's easier for you to just take these fingers and just throw it down like that. And then when you're ready, just wrap the leash around your finger like this. Perfect, yeah, like that, okay. Tell her break.
Break.
All right, so I'm gonna have you go this way, and I'm gonna hold Pretzel here. And then what's your number currently? Let's go down to 16. Oh, 1 second. Good. Nervous. So we'll start to pull a little bit on your leash. About there, okay? And tap, 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 a little bit more of a pull. Tap, tap, now move backwards. Like that. Hold right there, tap, tap, pull, 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 tap, backwards. Tap, tap, good, hold right there. Tap, tap, backwards. Tap, pull, pull, pull. Good, hold right there. Turn to face Pretzel. Move backwards. Tap, tap, hold right there. Go into praise, that's fine. Go into pet her, praise. Pet her, praise. We're at 16, right? Let's go, break. Let's go to 20. So go ahead and pull some leash in. Yep. Yep. A little bit more. There we go. And tap, 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 tap. A little bit more of a pull. Tap, tap, tap. Now backwards. Tap, tap. Yep, like that. Hold right there. Back, tap. Backwards. Tap, tap. Hold right there. Turn to face pretzel. Backwards. Tap. Hold right there. Praise. Good, break. Good. Come here. Come here. Let me come a little forward. That's good right there. Gonna reel in your leash. And tap, 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 a little more of a pull. Tap backwards. 1, 2, 3, hold. Praise. Let's go 24. And then go until our break. Walk. Good girl. Come on. You want to do a couple more? Come on. Come here. Tap. A little bit more of a pull. Now backwards. 1, 2, 3. Hold. Careful. Wait. Now turn to face her. Backwards. Tap. Hold. Wait. Praise. We're going to do one more. Break.
Break.
Whoa. Come. Come here.
I have no idea what we're doing.
What's that?
I have no idea what we're doing.
We're going to practice a few more times. You'll get it. And I'm going to explain it. Okay, so going to shorten your leash a bit. Good. Going to back up a little bit. Okay. And tap. Now backwards. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Wait. Now here, turn to face pretzel. Backwards. Tap. Hold right there. Backwards. Tap. Tap. There you go. Wait right there. Turn to face pretzel. Back. Tap. Tap. Wait right there. Let me see. Okay, turn to face her. What's your number right now?
45.
Let's go to 28. Back. Tap. Hold right there. Turn to face her. Back. Tap. 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 Hold right there. Go ahead and reel in some more leash here. Yeah, it's okay. This gets messy. And you're gonna shorten it, shorten it, shorten it. Yep. And here, just lightly pull on her. It's okay. Lightly. There we go. Wait right there. Turn to face pretzel. Hold. Now tap. Tap. Hold your leash. Right. Wait. Reel her. Now, yeah, keep reeling it in. Now, lightly pull her. And tap. Lightly pull. Tap. Tap a little bit more. Tap. More towards you. Tap. Tap. Pull, pull, pull. Tap. Right there. Wait. Pull towards you. Tap. 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 Almost. Tap. Pull, pull, pull. Better. Praise. Right there. So what we're doing is we're teaching Pretzel to come to you. But her problem is, once she gets really excited, right, she wants to do other stuff. But then here she keeps landing like there.
Right.
And I want her to be like here. Okay, so we're gonna start being more strict. We're at 28. Let's go 34. Go into cube break.
Right.
Break, come on. We're gonna try that 3 more times. We're gonna see if we can get that to be a little bit better. Come on. Come on. Okay. Good, going to shorten your leash a little bit. Okay, wait a moment. And tap, tap. Now backwards. 1, 2, 3, hold. Turn to face her. Let me see here. Backwards, tap, wait. So go ahead and grab your back, turn to face her again. Back, tap. Yep, hold right there. What you're gonna do is stay where you are. Yeah, lightly pull in towards you. Yeah, tap, tap towards you. That's better, praise. Good, we're gonna do that 2 more times. Break. Go, girl. Yeah, good girl, come here. Okay. Good girl. And tap. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, hold. Tap, tap, tap. Backwards. There you go. Yep, wait right there. Back, tap, tap, tap. Reel in your leash, tap. Reel it in, tap, tap. Yeah, pull, pull, pull. There you go. Tap. Tap. Almost. Now stand where you are. Lightly pull towards you, tap. 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 Pull, pull. Tap. Tap. Right there. Now praise.
Good job.
Good. So I'm going to do a couple to show you. We're probably going to have to raise her number 2. So I'll take care and I'll swap with you. So go ahead and grab the green leash there. And then I'll have you walk towards that end, please. That's good right there. Okay. So what we're going to do. Yep. Yeah, let's just bring that around. Good. Yep, hold. Good. Good. Yep, right there. Okay, so we're at 40. And tap, 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 tap. Good. Tap. Tap, tap. Good. Break. Go, 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 go. And do it a couple more times. Go. Good girl. Okay. And tap, 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 tap. Good girl. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Good girl. Right, go, 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 go. We're good. 2 more times. We're at 44. And tap, tap. Yes. Tap, tap. Yes, tap. Yes. Girl. Tap, tap. 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 Good girl. Yeah. Good.
Are we going to get to the point where once she runs through you, she'll come right by us?
Right there. Yeah. Go, go, go. We're going to do one more. 44. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Tap. Tap, tap. Good. Tap. Good. And a girl.
Okay, let's.
Good. Break. Good. So I just increased the power. I'm at 44 right now. But we want her to land right next to you. Okay? Because if we allow her to land like there, what's going to happen is she's going to run to you and she's going to slow down like she's going to stop. She'll take off again. Okay? So we're going to go and swap again. So I'll give you Pretzel. But there, what I was doing, aside from putting more power, is there was more taps, right? To whenever I saw her deviating or thinking of something else, tapping. Your steps are pretty good, more pronounced. So it's very clear that you're doing something. Because the moving backwards gives Pretzel something to attach to. Okay? So like typically when people call their dogs, they're standing still.
Right.
And their dog looks at them like what? Right? So when you start walking, then the dog wants to follow because of the movement. So here we're doing backwards movement so that for her visually, if she's at a distance and she sees you moving backwards, she knows what it means. Okay? So what we're gonna do now is similar process, but instead of pulling then tapping, you're gonna tap 2 or 3 times to see if she'll start coming to you, and then pull if needed. Okay? Go ahead. Good. I'm going to give a little bit more distance. A little bit more. A little bit more. About there. That's good. Okay. And tap. Now backwards. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Tap. Yeah. Hold right there. Tap. 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 Back. There you go. Wait. Now pull towards you. Tap. And praise. So see how that's quicker?
Yeah.
Good. Break. Come on. Good girl. There we go. Tap. There you go. Backwards. Tap. Tap. There you go. Hold right there. There you go. Praise. Back. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Here, take a step backwards. Tap. See right there, hold. There you go, praise. Good, we're gonna try 3 more. Break. Good girl. Back, 1, tap, good, hold right there. Praise, much better, much better. Break. I'm gonna do 2 more. Come on. Come on. Good. Back, hold right there. Turn to face her. Tap back. Yep, hold. Back tap. Tap, yep, hold right there. Like that. Better, praise. So I'm being more strict with her because I would typically accept that. But big tap, back, tap, there you go. Wait right there, like that, perfect. But because she's so, like she likes to dart, you know, it's best to be more strict. Okay, we're gonna do 1 more. Break, break. There you go, back. Yep. Hold right there. Now turn to face her. Back tap. Back tap. There you go. Like that. And praise. Good. And break. Good. So we'll let her rest. You can come over real quick. You want to walk over? So now she's on break. She can do whatever she wants, okay? We're going to let her just relax. So right there on the 44, we started getting more consistent positioning with her, right? Where she, I think there was one where she even sat on your feet. I want that close, okay? So recalls come to me, okay? So if I typically, like this typically would be acceptable, okay? But because Pretzel likes to, just randomly dart off and all that stuff, I want to be more strict with her. So I'm gonna want her to be somewhere in this kind of immediate space, like this, or even if she comes through like this is fine as well. Really tight on me, okay? The reason for that is less likely to take off after I've called her, okay? So then here, when we were at the lower number, she was more excitable, right, and kind of darting and running around. But the more we went up on power, all of a sudden it's like, oh, like this is serious now, okay? It's our instinct to typically do this, right, where we want to step in, always want to make her come all the way to you, okay? Because
yes, I have a question. So if she would come to me but not close enough, the way I would correct that is turn towards her, take a step back, and tap. Okay.
Yep. And you keep doing that. And you might do it 8 times. And finally, boom. Okay? Because, so what we're teaching her is whenever I'm facing you and moving away from you, it means get closer.
Right.
Okay? So if Pretzel's at the park and you call her and she can't hear you, the e-collar is going to get her attention. So she's going to be looking and she's going to see you doing this. So that tells her, get over here, okay? The other thing is, I've seen this happen too, but I don't like calling my dog and people assume they're coming. Like I've been in Oz Park and I've seen people call their dog and they start walking away and the dog starts coming and then halfway they run off to go say hi to another dog. And then the owner's all the way over there. No. Like always eyes on the dog, and until they're here, I always want to be facing them, okay, so I can see all that stuff. So it becomes Pretzel's visual. So the way we're practicing this isn't realistic. Okay, no one's going to hold Pretzel for you. She's not going to be sitting there waiting for you. She's going to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
So what we do now is when you go to the park, have your long leash with you, and once you get there, put Pretzel on the long leash, break, and you hold on to the end, and you let Pretzel just be a dog.
Yeah.
She can, run up the tree, sniff, and just be crazy and run and bark, and you can just wander, right? And then, does she like squirrels or no? Does she have prey drive?
I don't know that she's ever seen or chased one. Birds, she has.
Okay. Does she really, really like birds, or just sometimes?
Most of the time, I would say.
Okay.
Like only chasing them.
Okay. So like, let's say you go and you see like a flock of birds.
Right.
Okay. And you tell her break, and she's running and she's chasing and stuff like that. Let her do it. And then randomly, while she's doing that, Pretzel will come. So she's doing something, okay? Because typically when people call their dogs, they're chasing something, running away, or running towards something they shouldn't. It's almost always moving away, or they're distracted, okay? So I like to use the environment to build reliability, okay? Because if you go to the dog park and try to do this, it's gonna not be good, okay? Because you're gonna need this leash for a while until you get Pretzel to that point, okay? So like if I have a dog that likes squirrels, it's great because I can utilize that as a distraction and a reward. So if I call Pretzel away from the birds and she comes to me, I'll wait a little bit to see if she's gonna try to run back, okay? So if she, like she did earlier, when she tried to run towards me and you just tapped her, she stopped and turned right back to you. That's how it should be, okay? So once you've called her, it's expected that she stay put until you release her. So I call her, I'm waiting for a little bit, break, and I let her go right back to the birds again. And then we go back to wandering a little bit, okay? So you're telling her like, hey, You can chase the birds. I don't care. But when I call you, you need to come back, and then maybe I'll let you go do it again. Okay? So there's 3 points where we want to do a recall, typically. One is mid-pursuit. At mid-pursuit,
Okay.
as they're running towards the squirrel or whatever, right when they get there, and then as they've been doing it for a while. Okay? So when you practice with her, you want to randomize when you're calling her, because if you always call her as she's about to chase them, she's going to always turn back to you, even when you don't call her. She's going to assume it.
Right.
So I like to vary it so they don't pick up on a pattern.
Yeah.
Let me think here. When you do practice, you don't want to practice too much, depending on the dog. Some dogs are fine, and you'll call them and you'll release them, they'll go back, no problem. Other dogs, you practice too much, they don't want to leave your side. Okay, so what we do is we try to balance it out. So if you go to the park and you always spend 20 minutes at the park, I might give her 20 minutes and just call her at the very end, just once, and then the next time I'll call her like 5 times, and then 2 times, and then 1 time, and then 1 time, and then 3 times. Like you're just randomizing how many times you're going to call her when you go, so she doesn't pick up on a pattern. So you want her to be comfortable with running around and having fun, but also you want to get the control in. But if you do too much control, we lose comfort, and the dog goes, there's no point in trying to play because you're just going to call me 100 times. If you start to see her dip in her interest with the environment, lay off the recall, don't practice anymore, just wander around with her. And then if you see something that she likes, like let her chase it and run towards it. And instead of calling her, you drag her in. Okay? You drag her in, so she's going to be like this, trying to get back to it. And then you leash her up, and then you walk away, and then put her in the heel later. Because you want to leave her wanting to do something. Because if you leave her like this, and she leaves like this, the last thing she's going to remember is that. Okay? So this way she's like, oh, like, you know, sometimes I'm going to chase squirrels and stuff, and mom's not going to call me, and I'm going to be all revved up. Because you want to harness that behavior. Okay? Questions?
So, dogs as distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking the nurse park by me, right? The one that isn't fenced in with a lot of dogs off leash. Is it better to practice when there aren't any dogs off leash?
If you're gonna practice with other dogs, like only like 1 or 2 at a time,
Okay.
because the leash is gonna get tangled,
Right.
right? So if there's too many dogs, it's really messy. But like, let's say there's 1 dog there, and you're like, hey, can I practice? I'm doing, you know, training, whatever, and let her play. And then as she's playing, like, you know, 5 minutes in, get ready, Pretzel come, right? Pull her away from the play. She comes back, wait a little bit to see if she's gonna go back, break, boom, let her go play again. You know, but if you try to do it like anything more than 1 or 2 dogs, it can get pretty messy with the leash.
Okay. I'm just thinking, like, where can I go where there aren't dogs?
Oh, I mean, there's Oz Park, there's the lakefront. The lakefront's really nice. There's usually a lot of squirrels, you know, a lot of distractions there.
Okay.
And you can literally just walk down the lakefront. You know, because the main thing is like walking and letting Pretzel just like do her thing.
Right.
You know, and so you're walking and stuff as opposed to like just waiting in an area. So I like the lakefront a lot. And there's usually geese or birds there, and squirrels as well, sometimes ducks. Also there's like a trail, and there's plenty of distance where there's a trail and you'll see someone walking their dog, and you can let her go, but be far enough away that even if she gets to the end, she's not gonna get to the dog, you know? And you can have her like at the very end by the trail, just like watching and like running or whatever, and then calling off of that too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's anything that's gonna get her attention, okay? Other questions?
No, I'm sure there'll be more when we practice.
Yeah. So we're gonna add the word now. We're gonna say come. So everything's gonna stay the same, except now you're gonna say come. You can say the name too, like Pretzel come, if you like. But if you're gonna use her name, I only use the name with the recall. Okay, because if you say like Pretzel come and she starts to learn Pretzel means you're gonna call me, and then you say Pretzel sit, she's gonna think come. Does that make sense? Because of Pretzel. So if you always say Pretzel come, I only use the name with the recall. So I don't say Pretzel sit, Pretzel down, or Pretzel place. I just go place, right? But with the recall, because a lot of times people do use the name as a form of recall, is if you do that, not using Pretzel sit, because if you say Pretzel, she's going to think to come to you.
Right.
And then you're going to say sit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're going to use her name, I only use it with the recall. Otherwise, you would just say come. Okay? So what you're going to do now is you're going to say come. Then you're going to start tapping. And then if she doesn't come to you, you're going to start pulling the leash. Okay? So everything stays the same except now you're going to say come. Okay? Hey, you.
Try to get her relaxed.
Just distracting her.
Pretzel, come.
And back. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Now tap. 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 There you go. Backwards. Tap. Good. Tap. Tap. There you go. Wait right there. Wait a moment. Like that. Praise. Now, when you called her, by the way, I forgot to tell you, even if she starts coming to you, tap her at least once. Okay? And I'll explain that a little bit later. We're going to do 4 more. Hey. Break. Yep.
Pretzel, come.
There you go. Back. Tap. Good. Wait right there. Good. Praise.
Good job.
Break. Break. That's it. Okay.
Stop pulling in on the leash.
Yeah.
Requires some coordination. Pretzel, come.
Now back. 1, 2, 3. Tap. Yep. Hold right there. That's fine. Like right there when she started like looking back, you can tap there too. Okay, because now she's getting distracted. Break. Break. Oh, come here. Come here.
Pretzel, come.
Tap, tap, back. Good. Hold right there. That's good. Good girl. And break. What's it? What's it?
Pretzel, come.
There you go. Back. 3. Hold right there. Turn to face her. Back. Tap. 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 Good. Hold right there. Turn to face her. Back. Tap. Hold right there. Tap. 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 Backwards. Tap. Tap. Yep. Back. Tap. Hold right there. Better. Good. So, whenever you see her moving away, always facing, but moving away as you're tapping. And the moment you see her look like she's coming to you, you stop. Okay, so for Pretzel, when she feels this, and she turns like this, the moment she's moving to you, you stop. Okay, so you're telling her, you need to come to me. So the moment we see that happen, we lay off the pressure. Because if you keep it on, she's going to come to you and she's going to think, maybe this is wrong. She's going to go away. We're going to try one more, but this time, when you release her and she starts running to me, about halfway you're going to call her. Okay, we're going to see what she does. So go.
Tap.
Uh-huh.
Do I tap? Like
Always. Go ahead. Call her. Tap. Back. Back. There you go. Good. Praise. Good. Go ahead and bring her over. Good. So here, we'll switch it back. What we've set up here is a foundation. Okay. So now, Pretzel has an idea of what to do when you call her. The reason why we always tap in the beginning is because you're trying to make or force an issue.
Trying to make what?
Force an issue. So what happens is if you call Pretzel and you tap her too late after she's coming to you, it'll confuse the dog sometimes. And they'll think, oh, maybe this is wrong. Because she did something, and then after she did it, you tapped her. So instead of coming to you, they run away from you. So we call this proofing, okay? So we have training, we have proofing. Training is when we teach the behavior, okay? So right now we just trained her how to come to you when she feels the tapping. Now, when you go out to practice with her, you're still training, but you're proofing at the same time. So if you call her and tap every time, Pretzel come, tap, regardless if she's coming to you or not. Pretzel come, tap, and keep tapping as necessary, so that if she makes the mistake of running away from you, we're not worried because she's on the leash, okay? So then if she starts to run away, you don't call her, you just start tapping and move back to make her return. So she thinks tap never means to run away. It always means to come back, okay? Let me think. Recall takes the longest to teach because you have to go to the park, go to different parks, practice with different distractions and all that stuff. So don't think like within a couple of weeks she's going to be amazing. If you go every day and you practice a ton, a couple of months, okay? If you go a couple times a week, a few months, right? It all depends on how much effort and time you put into it. Plus, she's only going to be good in the environments you practice in. So if you always go to the same park, she'll be great there. But then if you go to a new park, it's not going to be so good. So you can either start at one place and practice until she's really, really good there. And then you start to expand, or just right off the bat, you just start to go to different places and practicing. There's no kind of right or wrong, but definitely at this stage, you always want to have Pretzel on the long leash. Don't try to call her if you know you can't make her return. Okay? So like, let's say there's no leash on, and I go, Pretzel, come. Right? I have a caller, but we've not done enough work to make sure that she's always going to respond. Okay? Because like right now, the reason why I said when she runs towards me, call her back, is to see what she would do. And when she heard her name, she did turn, right? Ideally, we would have wanted this. And she would have just started going to you. But I like that she did turn, so she's got a concept, oh, I hear this, I'm supposed to do something. But that's what you're trying to build, is even if she's running away or running to something, Pretzel come, boom. She just right away comes back to you, okay? Questions?
No, not at this point.
Once you start practicing, you'll have questions.
I'm still trying to make sure I know how to train her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the making sure I step back when she's coming to associate with the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And you can also add food here too.
Sorry, add what?
Food.
Okay.
But you wouldn't
Like when
use
she
it.
comes to-
Exactly. So whenever she comes right here, you would just feed her. So instead of petting her, you feed her. Okay. So then she's gonna start favoring coming in closer because of the reinforcement. But we're not using it like to get her attention, right? You make her come to you, and once she's arrived, good, okay? The only problem is sometimes they learn that you have the food, so then they'll want to leave you. But then we also have the problem if you practice too much, they don't want to leave you because they don't want to get promoted. So, it can go any number of ways. If you're going to use food, I use really high value stuff. Personally, I use sausage, turkey, bologna, hot dog, cheese, whatever. So whatever is good for her stomach that's really high value, and I would isolate it only for this exercise, okay? Because if she's getting it at home, if she's getting it for other stuff, it doesn't have the same value, okay? Anything else?
No.
Good.
We're still working through diarrhea. I have no idea what's the cause of it this time. But yeah, she's probably not going to get treats.
That's fine.